Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Efficient Practice Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Evelyn Samuel, and we have a great episode for you today. I'm so excited about our guest on the show. Today we have Jide Alufa. Hi, Jide.
Hey, Evelyn, great to be here.
Oh, it's so wonderful to have you here. The listeners are in for a treat, so you guys want to stay until the very end of this episode. Today is going to be talking about all things marketing, online promotions of your dental practices and other businesses. So it's very exciting. So I can't wait to dive into your interview. But before we get started, I want to make a few show announcements. If you have not, please subscribe to, rate, and review the show, the podcast show. It's the Efficient Practice Podcast. So it's for you if you have an efficient dental practice or medical practice, or if you are using efficient practices to run your business better, this podcast is for you. And if you have not, please join our free Facebook group. It's called the Efficiency Now Network, where we have a lot of professionals. We have people like Jide in there, and we're all working together to grow our businesses and run them more effectively so we can have more productivity, more profitability, and just a better quality of life. So I want to talk a little bit about our guest for today, Jide Alufa. Jide is a Facebook growth expert, funnel hacker, and an all-around digital marketing geek. He loves Facebook and gets excited about getting results for his clients. He works with a team of clever cookies and focuses his efforts on helping dentists get results. His hobbies are basketball, Facebook, and all things avocados. We have a really cool, a very cool case study that we're also going to be going over today for a dentist that Jide created. So Jide is our social media expert today, our funnel hacker, our all-around digital marketing geek. Welcome to the show, Jide.
Hey, Evelyn, thanks a lot for having me here. It's such a pleasure to be here on the Efficient Practice Network podcast here.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. I was really wanting to get you on the show for this episode because I think the viewers really need to hear this exciting marketing that you're doing for dentists and other clients too, but mainly because the show attracts a lot of dentists. Dentists are really going to want to hear about what you're doing. So before we get into your interview, before we dive deep into the interview, can you tell us a little bit about your background? You know, what brought you to where you are now, to doing what you're doing, and what you got you to helping dentists as well?
Oh yeah, that's actually a very interesting story. I didn't start out as a techie or a big tech person. I actually have a background as a nurse. I actually worked in an emergency room. So I'm actually very clinical, which a lot of my clients appreciate. I know the lingo. I can talk about patients, and I know not all patients are great, but I always love to serve. So about 3 years of working, I'm in the emergency room, and one patient, after providing what I thought was the best care, I actually saved the patient's life. The family members came in, and they were dissatisfied with some customer service issues and just started cursing me out. And I was like, oh my goodness, I literally just saved your family member's life, and then now I'm getting cursed out. So I really started to think, listen, I love serving people, I love customer service, but how else can I serve? How else can I bring value to the world? And I always loved advertising and marketing. So about 4 or 5 years ago, I went deep dive into Facebook and Instagram, learned everything that there is to learn about it. I took some very expensive mastermind courses, upwards of $10,000 to $20,000. Just to really make sure I understood the game, understood what Facebook is all about. And since then, I've been working very closely with other practitioners, especially dentists, trying to give them what they're missing in their practice. A lot of people have great service, but they just do not know how to advertise and spread the word. And that's where I come in. I help dentists get to a place where they know how to share their great stories, relate with their patients, and bring them inside the office and turn them into clients.
All right. That's really important because you're right. A lot of times we're into what we do as dentists. You know, we treat patients, we change smiles, and we take care of people. And a lot of times we don't know how to market effectively because what worked years ago doesn't necessarily work like now.
Yeah.
So in terms of that, in terms of you doing the online marketing, what have you found in terms of how we used to market? Like, how does this compare to uh, direct mail, or what are some of the other things people used to do that you can show the vast difference in what you do now?
Yeah, so I'll give one critical example, which is direct mail. A lot of dentists still do it. I still get mailers in my flyer from a lot of dentists. And the thing about direct mail is that the first thing is that you cannot account for what your mail and where your mail goes. It's hard to see who got your mail. It's hard to go over the numbers and say, I sent it to 100 families and this is what they did with it. With online marketing, you can track everything. You can see exactly where every dollar you're spending is going, and you can see the direct results. So typically in the industry, direct mail converts about 1% to 2%, give or take, depending on the area that you live in. Facebook ads start converting at around 5 to 10%. So just from switching online, you're 5x or 10x in your profits, your revenue, and your client base. And then you're also tracking it from a daily basis to make sure it's getting better and better. Most times with direct mail, like you mentioned, if your direct mail piece, the customer didn't like a picture on it, there's no way for them to give you feedback on that. It's just a wash. But with Instagram, Facebook, and online marketing, a customer can let you know, like, hey, I loved your office, but the thing I didn't like is that your ad showed a smile of my kid. I would rather see a smile of an adult because I want more adults to come to your practice. And you as a dentist can change that. And by making that one little tweak, you can double or triple your client base with changing your online advertising because you're getting direct customer feedback. So that's super important because at the end of the day, who you're serving is the customer, and you want to make sure that you're advertising with them in mind.
Right. That's excellent points all around. And I'll add to what you were just saying. When you do the direct mail, you may not be marketing to the person you want to come in or the type of case you want. So, and I say case because some of us do different things. Some of us do more, maybe more Invisalign. Some people may do more children. Some people may do more dentures. And with what you do, you can actually attract the type of patients and cases and procedures you want to do. Is that right?
Exactly. And direct mail is more of a shotgun approach. You're shooting shotguns and you're hoping and you're trying to see what you catch. With Facebook, you can directly target the person you want and the cases you want, for example. So if you're a cosmetic dentist and you're targeting people in that client base, you can target people who have that demographic. For instance, with Facebook, you can target people who are 40 years and older, within a certain age demographic, within a certain financial demographic, and within a certain neighborhood, just to make sure that these people are the people you want to target and you're not throwing away money. So every ad is going to a customer that is potentially going to pay you money for your service. And more importantly, they need your service.
Exactly. So I'm really excited. In a few minutes, we're going to talk about a case study. So that's really good, and you can get even more into how you were able to target market certain people for this. It's for a dentist, right? The case study.
Correct.
Yes. Okay. So I want you to tell us this because we're now getting into targeting patients and customers and guests because that's what they are to our practices. But I want us to back up just a little bit in case some of our listeners have not gotten on that online or social media track marketing, and maybe these terms are a little bit foreign to them. So first, I want you to tell us what exactly is a funnel, because that's what we're doing. We're funneling people. So what is a funnel?
Great. And I think the best way to describe a funnel is to describe it in comparison with what a lot of practitioners have used in the past, which is a website. So a website is a place where people go to learn more about you. But the issue with it is that it's not directed them to a specific action. So a funnel is like a website, but it's designed differently, specifically with the customer experience in mind to make them take a specific action. Whether that action is booking a call with you, scheduling an appointment, calling the office, giving them your name and email address, or maybe even paying for a consultation online. Because some practitioners actually charge for their consultations. So that's an option as well. So a funnel takes a customer through that process in an easy way, and it's like having your best salesperson on the computer with them as they visit your website.
All right. And so with the funnel, you build funnels and landing pages and things of that sort for the funnels. What is the difference between like the new way of you funneling people in or a traditional website? Is there a difference there?
Correct. So there's two main differences, and I'll merge this in with Facebook. So for before in the past, when people came to your website and you don't use Facebook or social media, there's no way to track them. With Facebook, for instance, you can now have a pixel, which is a piece of code, and every person that comes to your website, you capture their information. Because what they did is raise their hand and say, hey, I'm interested in your service. That's why I'm visiting your website. Also, the funnel allows you not only to capture their information, but re-advertise to them because they might not be ready at that point in time. Okay, so statistics came out that it takes 5 to 7 touches for somebody to actually become a customer of yours. With Facebook and Instagram and your funnel, you can remarket them and retarget them over and over again till they get to a point where they say, I am now ready to become a guest, as you so eloquently put it. Yeah, it's like they're guests. They're not patients, they're guests. I love that.
They are guests. So do you when you're working with dentists and new clients, do you get any certain like myths? Do they have like preconceived notions about what online marketing is? Or is there like a lack of understanding what you're doing when we first come to you as customers?
Yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions in the industry in marketing, and specifically with dentists. And one of the big ones is that, number one, it doesn't work. And a lot of people say this because they don't understand it. And because they're trying to drive paid traffic and boost posts. A lot of my dentists are boosting posts. Those are not advertisements. Those are not Facebook ads. You have to create a business plan to create a funnel that attracts the customer, but also turns them into paying guests, like you said. There's a process to do that. It's not something you can wake up and do. There's training involved with it. And that's what we're here to do. That's why we're here to help. The best advice I can give to dentists who want to start social media marketing is by creating a Facebook page, even by going live once a week and literally letting your guests know, like, hey, we're in the neighborhood, does a huge amount for building equity and market share in your neighborhood. I know where you are in the DMV area. There could be anywhere from 30 to 50 dentists within a 25-mile radius.
Absolutely.
What differentiates you is people's awareness that you are there, okay? So you just being on social media and putting your head up and saying, hey, we're in the area, can actually double or triple your customer base in a few short weeks.
Yeah, that's important. That's good stuff. I mean, that really is, because you're right. We're in the DMV, the DC metropolitan area, DC, Maryland, and Virginia. For those of you who are listening, and there are a lot of dentists here. Like, there are a lot of dentists. So, you know, we all have different strengths and talents. But if people don't know that you do these things, then they don't know you're there, and then you become a commodity. And we're not commodities. We're not the same. We're not all the same. So that's really important to have that business plan, like you said, so that you can create a plan of where you want to take your client and where they want to go.
Exactly. And I'm going to add to that. So Facebook as a social media is one of the marketing funnels that you decide and you control. So with direct mail and other avenues, even if you're going to put up a billboard, it's the shotgun approach, and you can't decide how to scale it. And as you scale some of those traditional methods, you're going to have to increase costs dramatically. But with social media, you can scale for such little cost that the return just way past outfars the risk of getting on social media, or the fear of dealing with technology, or the fear of being out there, because that's sometimes a fear that our dentists have. Just a picture of the team does huge wonders in letting people know that real people actually work at your practice. It makes your practice guest friendly, where guests actually say, that's a friendly dentist I would like to visit. That's a practice I would like to go into and have work done on my teeth, on my smile, or whatever case you work on.
Right, because people like to do business with people.
Exactly.
Right? They do. They like to do, not with businesses, but with people. And you want them to know, like, and trust you. And by this way, you're introducing them, and they can see you, and they begin to like you. And like you said, know more about your practice and the team. So I think this is a good time to actually talk a little bit about your. I want to discuss this your case study, and if this is the right one, I think this may be the one I modeled. You notice I use model. We're
Yeah,
both model people, so
exactly. That's a funny word. You got to model what works.
model what works. So I actually, and after you tell us about it, I'll tell the listeners too how I modeled this and the results that I got as well. So tell us a little bit about your case study. This is a case study for a dentist. How did this come to be? Did the dentist contact you, or how did this whole thing happen?
So I was in a Facebook group full of dentists with all different specialties. And I wanted to really show dentists that, listen, this works. This can change your business overnight. So there's a dentist in Dallas, Texas, actually. Her name is Dr. Tracy. We met in a Facebook group. Everything happened. We actually never got on the phone once. Just to imagine how seamless the process was. We communicated via Facebook Messenger. And I said, listen, spend a couple $100s on advertising. See how Facebook works for you and brings in customers for you over the next 30 days. She was opening a second location in Victory Park, and she had only gotten 3 to 5 new clients or guests a week. She dramatically needed to increase that because, as we know in our industry, the overhead can be high, right? So we need clients, customers to take care of some of the expenses. So we brought her in. We created a funnel from scratch. The team worked on it. It takes about 5 days. And within 30 days, we spent about $700 on ads to acquire customers. And she saw about 129 new clients and made an extra $13,000 that first month.
Oh wow! Now you said that was her first funnel, so that's really impressive in about 30 days.
In about 30 days, correct. Yeah, she completely booked out her schedule. She was a very happy camper.
I'm sure. Yeah, that's a pretty good return on investment, I would say, because you said you only spent $700 in ads.
Correct.
So that was a really good return on investment. $13,000 extra, and that was, like you said, the first one.
That was the first one, correct.
Let's just say for the listeners, if you do this first one and it brings that in, you can continue to run that same funnel, right?
Correct. You can. You can continue to run the same funnel. Just make tweaks with maybe the picture of the offer every 6 to 8 months if you need to. But the funnel works. It brings in clients. People recognize who you are. And more importantly, it gives them the opportunity to book online. So one of the great things about this case study is that not only was she getting clients coming to her practice, some people, before they actually left the funnel, actually booked a call with her and actually booked a consultation. And they showed up to the office without her ever speaking to the client or the staff ever getting on the phone. It was all a seamless process. And I think that's what got her the most excited, that she got clients auto booked, and she had never seen that before within a few days of her funnel being live.
Yeah, I think I would be excited about that too.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting. So can you tell us about the funnel? So that was the funnel process. Those were the results. She spent $700. She had over $13,000 in production, correct?
Correct.
But what was the actual funnel? Because I know that you've explained it, and you've explained it very well. You've explained what it can do and how you can target people and how you can get specific cases. But for people who still may be a little foggy on the whole funnel thing, what did you use? Was it an ad? Was it, what exactly was it that made up her funnel?
Okay, great. So from a 10,000 foot overview, it's the first thing that a customer sees on Facebook is an ad. So they're scrolling through their Facebook feed, they see an ad. Hey, I'm Dr. So-and-so. I'm Dr. John Doe. We have something great happening in our practice, and we write an ad copy specifically for you that brings customers to your website. So they click the ad, and then they go to what we call a landing page, which is the first page of the funnel, and lets them know about the special offer you're running, a little bit more about your practice and your address. And then they have to click submit, and they give you their information, their name, email, and phone number. And this is what we call customer database building. So you get to build a customer database of customers who you can market to over and over again. Okay, you're gonna have their name, you're gonna have their email, and you're gonna have their phone number to call them whenever you want. And then the second page after that would be a thank you page. And on the thank you page, we see something interesting. We thank them for giving us the information. We invite them to call the practice, but more importantly, we invite them to book an online appointment with you right there and then. And about 25 to 50% of our customers actually go ahead and fill out that form, enter the information, and auto book with you. And it shows up right on the dentist's calendar as, hey, new appointment generated with the client's name. So that's the basic 4-page funnel that we use. It's simple, but it's very effective. A lot of the work is done on the ad side to really get an offer and pictures to make the customer see the ad and want to click through and actually convert and give you the information and schedule a visit.
Yes. So this is also true. And I actually modeled, I modeled this particular funnel. And I'll just say this to people who are listening and viewing. Like I said, we both are into funneling and things of that sort.
Yeah, we're funnel hackers.
Yeah, we're hackers. I've been studying the funnels for about 2 years. I am not at your level yet, and that's why we need people like you. But it is very exciting for me to see how it works. And I have tried different things. I've bought a lot of courses and online courses and things so that I could understand this whole Facebook marketing and targeting and funnels. So I've done some other ones before with not a lot of results. I'll just put it out there. I've done a lot of things, a lot of courses, and I just wasn't getting the results. And even though I wasn't getting results, I was still thinking, I know this works. Yeah. I'm just not doing something right. It's not working for me because I'm not doing something right. And then I ran into, you actually had a course on how to do a funnel. And so I did your course and I modeled what you did. And it works. People, it works. I did it. And I didn't even spend that much. Like I think you said your client spent $700. I didn't even spend that much. I did like I don't even remember, maybe a $30 Facebook ad, and I got 19 leads from that, just like that, within a few days. Oh, that's pretty good. I mean, think about how much that would cost if I were doing a traditional, like a magazine clipping or magazine ad. That could be several hundred dollars, and you still may not get 19 or 20 leads. You know, like you said, you're just shooting out there, but this way you're targeting, exactly what you want to come in. So it worked. I used your funnel and it worked. So your company is Sophie Ads. Yeah. You're the CEO and founder of Sophie Ads.
Actually, I'm not the CEO. I'm going to stop you here. I'm actually the CMO, the Chief Marketing Officer. I am a marketer myself, so I'm in the trenches with my team, working on campaigns, make sure everything is right because we love our clients. We actually. So the CMO, not the CEO.
Hey, I stand corrected. He's the CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, the CMO of Sophie Ads. And how did you come up? That's a pretty interesting name, Sophie Ads. How did you come up with that name?
Yes, so Sophie Ads, and the word Sophia actually in the Greek it means wisdom. So we always tell our clients that we are the wisest choice in advertising you could ever come across. And I tell them that we're wise marketers. We know what we're doing. So Sophia means wisdom. As for advertising, wise advertising, that's who we are. So yeah, make sure you choose us if you want the wisest advertisers out there.
I like that. That's pretty cool. It's like Sophie Ads, the wisest people in advertising. That's pretty. What's the word I'm looking for? That's like a nice little ring to that. That's a nice ring to that. I like that. And it packs meaning as well.
Exactly.
Yes. So with these, you're building these land pages, which look like websites. And as you explained to us very well, is that it's like taking your best salesperson and walking them through and leading them through to get whatever procedures or products that you have to offer. When you do that, I know how much like websites, because I've been in this game a long time. I'll just say that.
I won't ask Evelyn how long.
Don't ask.
That'll be your little secret.
Don't ask. But I've been in dentistry for a while, and I've had 2 practices, and I've been in here for a while, and I know how much back in the day in my first practice, how much my first website, because it was kind of new, how much I spent. I spent a lot on that website, and for maintenance every month, where they were doing the SEO optimization and things of that sort. So I know these things can be 20,000 or more, where people are doing your marketing, when they're doing your websites. And while these are landing pages for people who are listening, they look like mini websites. They look like people don't know what they're, they don't know they're not traditional websites, but they look like websites. They just do a better job of marketing for your practice. So it's about $20,000 or more, easy. And I know, just from like talking with you and just kind of knowing what you do, that you only charge about $1,000. Is it monthly for your dentists and your clients?
Correct.
So I know what this costs, and I know how beneficial what you do is. Why do you charge $1,000 as opposed to these big numbers that some of the other, companies that do what you do charge?
That's a fair question. That's a fair question. And my team and everybody asks me that all the time. And what I say is that I want to make the power of advertising accessible to everybody. I mean, especially, I come from a clinical background, so I know what it is to serve patients. I know the emotional satisfaction that comes from it, as well as trying to make sure that you're being as profitable as possible. So I definitely wanted to be able to serve as many dentists and clinicians as possible. So I make my price affordable for that specific reason. And once our clients begin to grow, we always tell them, listen, just spread the word. That's enough for us. Let them know about us, about what we did for you, and what we can do for them as well.
Wow. Well, that's really good. That's great service. You're doing a wonderful thing with this, and you're serving people, and you care about your people, and that shows. And you are passionate. I know that you're passionate about the marketing, and that comes through as well.
Yeah, no, thank you. I super appreciate that. Yeah, this is what I do every day. I'm in the trenches in Facebook. My wife tells me if I don't get off my computer at 9 p.m., she's coming to get me. So.
I get that too. This stuff is exciting stuff, though. I mean, it really is. It's really exciting once you start to understand it. And like I said, I'm not near your level, but it's very exciting stuff. So
it definitely is.
It is, yeah. So you're very passionate. So is there anything else you would like to tell the listeners about your business, Sophie Ads, or about what you do, or anything of that sort?
Yeah, I always like to let people know how they can get in touch with me. So I created a website where I give some of the tips and tricks of the trade. We all know social media algorithms change all the time, so I let my clients know as well. They can sign up at the website, www.sophieads.com/smile. Since we are in the dental industry, we all want to be able to smile, right? So that's Sophie Ads, SOPHIADS.com/smile.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So I will include this in the show notes as well, so that the listeners will know how to get in touch with you. Because, like I said, I think you're doing a great thing. You're doing it for dentists, but also for other clients as well, because you know the marketing, the ways to market. So we are dentists a lot. We'll be listening to the show, but you can also do those services for other people as well.
Yes. And I appreciate being on, Evelyn. There's so much opportunity online, guys. Like, don't be on the sideline. Don't be the last one caught with your pants down, as my mom used to say. Create a page. Get out there. Take the risk. There's nothing worse that can happen than doing nothing, guys. So the power is out there for us to really let clients know that we can serve them at the highest level. Just make sure that you're giving yourself a chance to attract the best guests to your practice.
All right. Well, that is very well said. So thank you so much, Jide, for being on the show. And this concludes another episode of the Efficient Practice podcast. If you have not, please subscribe to, rate, and review the show. We're on all of the major podcast mediums, such as iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and many of the others. And if you have not, please join our free Facebook group. It's called the Efficiency Now Network, where there are a lot of professionals. We're in there working together to grow our businesses and our practices so that we can have more efficiency, more profitability, more productivity, and just a better quality of life. A little tongue-tied there. And there are people like Jide who are in the group who are there to help as well. So once again, thank you so much, Jide, for being on the show. You've been a world of information and a well of knowledge. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks, Evelyn. I appreciate being on and being able to share my message with the guests here to really help grow their practices.
All right, good deal. Until next time, we'll see you. Take care and so long. Bye-bye.
Bye.